Just doing a bit of an update for week 2 of the Gypsy style tiny house on wheels build. I've been a bit slower last week. The truck came back, my little Isuzu twin cab. It's enough room for 6 of us. I got the roadworthy done, and I've got a fair bit of work to do. I've got front suspension, pretty much all needs doing. The seal in the front wheel needs doing, new brake pads in the front wheel, and back suspension needs doing. A seal on the sump on the engine needs doing. Yeah, there's a fair list, so I've got all the parts finally, all the rubber suspension grommets and stuff like that. I've already done the headlights and a few other things, so yeah, a little bit more work to do, a couple of days and I'll have the truck done. But more importantly, the little Gypsy house on wheels, you can kind of see this bit here, the loft. So you can see how that's sitting up off the ground there with no support at the front. It's got a little temporary support there so it doesn't tip over at the moment. But just kind of imagine that bit slides onto the truck and sits up there. So it'll go right to the front of the truck, all the way to the back. I'm going to cut this off, move the tyre down, because I've maximised space. I've got a nice big toolbox that'll fit right in here, like to the millimetre. So hopefully my measurements are good. The exhaust pipe will be taken off and run under the truck to get it out of the way. So that's the loft bit. So the front section here, you're looking at the loft. So that's all loft there. You're looking at about 2.6 metres by 2 metres, so very large. 2 single beds, big queen, enough room for all that kind of thing. In here will be a lot of storage, so all this triangle through the front will be all shelving and stuff like that. Floors in a couple of days ago, got the floor down, which is good. Underneath you can see what it looks like. Lots of beams, lots of metal beams, all 50mm metal beams. That's the toolbox I was talking about. That's going to sit right up against the back of the window in the truck, and just maximising space as much as you can in this kind of build. So in the front of my cupboard, so you can see there that all that space is kind of gained by cutting off the mesh kind of area on the back of the truck. Gives me a nice area there for storage. It's quite a deep little storage area. We've got the all-important air conditioning hole. I've got a little $50 second-hand air conditioner, U-Butte, goes in there, hot and cold. So that'll be good. It's obviously got to go in. You can see the floor space there. Got a few LED light windows I'm still putting in. Bit of a mess at the moment. It's Friday afternoon. It's pretty much beer o'clock, and I thought I'd just quickly go over a couple of windows. Windows are great because they come with screens, so that's really good. They slide out like sliding like a bathroom window. They are actually a bathroom window, so I got them really cheap, $40 for a pair of them. So pretty happy with them. They're opaque, very dirty at the moment, but opaque so you can't see through. Bit of privacy and whatnot, but they do open right up. Let's see if I can put my hand in the back and get it open. So you can see that kind of deal. So excellent having screens. Loving that it's got screens that are fixed really well. So that'll be super handy. All the bugs and whatnot. So they're in. And then in the back we've got floor just sitting there at the moment. I've got this insulation, roll of it over there. That's going to go under the floor, so that's got to go down before I screw the floor down. And under this floor, the loft floor, I'm just going to use standard. I was given a heap of insulation, the old fiberglass stuff, so that'll all be packed with fiberglass and then a sheet of ply put into there as well. Lots of insulation went in yesterday on the roof, and it's got a slight arch to it, not a high one. It's like a 45mm batten in the middle, and then 20mm metal running down each side. So nice and insulated. All the walls, everything will be insulated. Another one of those windows, the matching set. I've put in a lot more supports. All this was added this week. Lots of bracing everywhere. Bracing in all the corners. Pretty substantial kind of stuff. That'll never snap off. I can almost guarantee it. Bracing at the front here, bracing, lots of bracing everywhere. on those big ones out the front. They act as braces as well. We've got our skylight just went in today. Needs the batten cut off that's in the middle of it. I'm not actually sure whether I'll leave that there or not, because it might actually be a really handy place to hang clothes and things like that in winter. So I'm not 100% decided whether I'm going to actually cut that out. Normally you would cut it out, but that all needs boxing in so you can see all around the edge here. When the roof sheets go in, that'll all be boxed in to neaten it up. It's quite a large one. You can't see the whole thing at the moment because there's insulation just cut roughly around it. But it's a 90 by 90 skylight, so that's quite a big skylight. You know, call it a metre skylight, which is great. Lots of light, want that natural light better. And my favourite at the moment is my doors. Can't really see them through all the junk, just kind of walk around. My peacocks. So these are amazing old doors. About 100 years old is the guesstimation for them. They came from an old hippie bus. There was a bus locally which had been left in a paddock, and this bus had been lapped Australia probably 30 times, a couple of different owners, and it ended up in a place in the back of Bairnsdale rotting and rusting away. And these are about the only things, because they were wood that wasn't rusted and that were able to be retrieved. So great bit of history, 100-year-old doors, 3 or 4 owners of these doors through the time. They're a bifold. So they slide off to the side, you can see there. Slides off, gives me lots of room, no doors swinging open, that kind of thing. So it gives me good access for a small doorway. Everything has to be made small, so you know that's good. They fold up really well. Next I've got high cupboards. There'll be cupboards going all the way along. This is 2.4 metres high, so it's kind of like a legal house height for ceiling. But I'm going to box in cupboards pretty much to the point of that door, all the way down to around here, because I've got this great piece of furniture that goes in here, lead light and old wood and that kind of thing. So it'll be the divide from the bottom area here into the loft with a smaller opening, all kind of gypsy style in the middle, and lead light doors either side. So that'll look pretty good. Pretty happy with this week's work. I can't do full time on this thing, other commitments, and I've got a pretty crappy back, so if I get sore I've got to stop. But pretty happy with this week. If the truck wasn't slowing me down, I've had a few headaches trying to get parts for the truck. If the truck wasn't slowing me down so much, I would have had a fair bit more done, but either way I'm still happy. It was a good week for the build, and everything's coming along well. And now I've just got to concentrate on the truck for a couple of days. So you can see it's already up there, and I've got to do a lot of suspension work. You can see I've just sort of started, so I've got to take all the suspension out and replace all the rubbers in them. They've been pretty bashed around. So that's a very unexciting job for next week, and because I'd much rather be playing with my tiny house on wheels, you know. That's where it's all at. But and I've also got the roof pretty much screwed down. I'll just climb up and have a look. So there's the roof. It's pretty much screwed down. I've got to come over it again with screws. You can see the chalk lines for screws. So it's nice and solid. It's got a little curvature to it. Not a great deal, because I'm pushing this build for the maximum height I can legally go. So to push that, I can't really put too much slope on the roof. You can see the big skylight there, beautiful thing. Got that for a bargain. It was just someone didn't use it on a job, so I picked up an absolute bargain with that. So there you go, just a quick run around week 2. And when this is built, of course it goes on this truck that I've shown you before. We take the tray off. Everything else on the truck's left alone. We just take all the sides, cut these 2 supports out. They can always be welded back later on if I want to put the tipper truck on it, because it is a tipper truck. And it'll just slide right over, loft right over the front. The back room there sits on the back of the actual tray. 3.5 ton tow bar, because it's a truck. Whole reason I got a truck, because I can pull more weight. And also a van. So that's a little van we've got at the moment, but we'll be upgrading to a bigger one because this one doesn't have a toilet and everything. So it'll be the Gypsy Caravan, and then or the Gypsy House on wheels, and then a caravan towed behind it to give us a fair whack of room. And I'm pretty tempted to actually get an old van. We're looking at some pretty smick looking vans that you can get imported from Britain and places like that I really like the look of, and very light and very modern. But I'm still tempted to get something pretty old so I can paint it up and have it go in the same sort of style, because this will all be weatherboards, so all wood on the outside everywhere, and they're a natural wooden board. I've got someone who had a heap left over from a job, and he's giving them to me for a song. So the end result will be all that boarded up with wood, except for the front, because I want the weatherboards, they lap one after the other, like in behind each other, and it lets lots of grooves, and I don't want the wind that's going to be hitting this front on the front of the truck. You can see why it's angled at the moment, so the wind pushes up and over the top. Well, I don't want weatherboards on this part, because it's just like putting, you know, wind brakes on all the way up. Good chance they'll get ripped off anyway when you're going 100 k's an hour with high wind areas. So the front will just be flat, but we're going to decorate that up kind of gypsy style and put the name of the truck on it. But yeah, there you go, just a rough idea of how week 2 went, and not so looking forward to week 3, but because of the truck. I'm doing truck repairs, but anyway, I'll keep you up to date. Thanks a lot.